10 years have come and gone, and I'm looking back at all the previous top 10 lists that I've done, and only choosing from my number one picks to find the best game that I ever reviewed in these past 10 years. If you want to see the worst games that I've ever reviewed, then you're going to want to click on the link at the end of this video. It might be surprising to see what's number one. I only reviewed Nintendo games, specifically Wii, Wii U, and Switch games. I think there's a game on here that you think should be here, but it isn't. Maybe I didn't review it, or maybe it wasn't my favorite for that year. This list was way harder to do. There are a few repeated franchises on here, but the only qualification was that it was number one for that year. Also, some of the video might not be great because in the beginning I was still learning how to capture video, so it might look a little stretched out or squeezed in. I don't know. So with that said, number 10. Paper Mario Color Splash. 2016 wasn't a great year for Wii U games. That's how this average card-based RPG got to be number one. It was definitely better than anything else I reviewed that year, but that's not really saying a lot. But it is better than most people remember. You also could get special attacks from items like a fan or a fire extinguisher that you can use in battle.
It was cool, but in the original Sticker Star, it was a big problem, the thing stickers, because they were just overpowered or did so much damage. What's the point of using the other cards, other than just to waste them?
Okay, I hate to break it to you, we're not reviewing Sticker Star.
But this game fixes that problem by having, one, the things not be so cumbersome to get, and two, the things that you have to use the things on have a lot more HP and are more durable, so it doesn't feel like you can just breeze through it by just hammering them with things.
Just so making this very clear, we're not talking about some Addams Family hand here. We're talking about a fire extinguisher, the fan, the plunger, stuff like that. They call it things.
I prefer the things where you could just squeeze the things directly rather than having to take the thing to a place to change the thing into a thing sticker.
Okay, we gotta stop saying things. I'm getting a thingy headache. Number 9. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Now, I am not a big fan of fighting games, but this one was good. It did have issues with lag in the online games, but at least it had a story mode. However, I do think this is the lesser of the two new games that were released in the last 10 years, but it was still a fun game to play. Brawls with other players were a lot of fun, and the amount of variety of the stages you had to choose from were spectacular. The stages ranged from really small to quite large, and I tended to set it on random, so it was always a surprise. Each character has their own special moves. They are very easy to pull off due to the simplified controls. Plus, they have their own final smash attack, which has the power to knock out anyone in its way. Number 8. New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This is a continuation of the New Super Mario Bros. Line that started on the DS. It was fun to play Mario in a 2D environment again on the big screen. This title was good for a few hours of fun, and it had a lot of replayability. Now, where's New Super Mario Bros. Wii? Oh, that's right. It comes in an obnoxiously red box. Thanks, Nintendo. That doesn't clash with my white at all. After you beat the boss, you go running after Peach, who's right in front of you in the airship. And instead of doing anything about it, Mario just sits there looking stupid. Okay, I get it. Mario is intimidated by the size of the airship in the first world, but he gets his way in every world. Mario! She's right there! You can make it so much easier on yourself just by jumping on the airship. It's not like you haven't jumped that high before. Stop looking at the airship like an idiot and save the girl. Instead, he decides to wait until he gets to World 8, the Koopa's homeland, to save her. Nice plan, Mario. Wait until you get to the world where Koopa has a home court advantage. Number 7. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I know this game gets a lot of hate from people who don't like the motion controls. I was not one of those people. I enjoyed this title way more than Twilight Princess. I like the sense of fun and wonder that it brought back to the series. Zelda this time around has gotta be one of the most bossy. You can tell who wears the pants in that family. Zelda's way or the highway. She is crazy in this one. In the first hour, she tried to murder me twice. It's like she just doesn't care about my life at all. She's like, come on, wuss, just go. Maybe I'm afraid of heights, okay? Maybe I'm afraid of heights.
If you're afraid of heights, why don't you just leave this place?
To where? The whole world is nothing but islands. Number 6. Splatoon. Who would have ever thought that a first-person shooter that doesn't kill anyone, but splashes them with paint or ink or whatever you want it to be, would be a hit? Only Nintendo would gamble with that sort of gameplay. However, this title had a lot of fun things in it, and the fact they keep updating it free over the year was just a bonus.
So obviously one of the main mechanics of this game, other than shooting ink, is turning into a squid.
Wait, is it ink or is it paint?
It's ink.
Then why does it look like paint?
It looks like, well, now that you Wait, what?
Is it ink or is it paint? Ink is something you use in a pen, and paint is something you use on walls and floors.
I think it's both.
So shouldn't it be Paintopolis?
Shouldn't it be Squidopolis?
Inks are what squids squirt out, but they're not squirting them out of any of their orifices. It's coming out of a gun. Number 5. Super Smash Bros. Wii U. This is my favorite Smash Bros. Game. Graphically, it looked great. I liked the roster of characters, and it was easy to get into an online match. The only real downside to it was the lack of a single-player game. But since most people don't play it for that, it really wasn't that big a deal. If you don't know what this game is, and I can't believe you don't, simply, it's a game where they throw mascots together and see who wins. It's like every drunk conversation you've ever had. I wonder if Sonic could beat up Mario. Well, you could find that out. The stages, they range from great to okay. I didn't like the stages where the backgrounds were just going nuts, like Skyloft.
Skyloft wasn't bad.
Oh, it's distracting. That's what I didn't like.
It wasn't even distracting.
Well, it was for me.
Well, you can't focus then.
No, I can't. Number 4. The Last Story. I love role-playing games, and this one was just amazing. I loved the story in this. And the combat was thrilling when you weren't doing it in auto fight mode. And for a Wii game, this looked fantastic. Now, the whole thing is voice acted, and of course it's done with British voices. Just once, I'd love to hear a different kind of accent in these RPGs. I mean, what's wrong with an American accent? We don't sound classy enough for an RPG? Because I can totally picture like a southerner. Come on, y'all, let's go save this kingdom! The inventory system was a bit weird. You had to pick up items that would increase your stats on your weapons or armor. You could upgrade your weapons quite often. Normally it was during some of the most awkward times, like right after a battle. This guy is hurt, but he still has the time to add on to your sword. It's like, dude, don't you think we should get you to a hospital? No! I must add a gem to your sword! Number 3. Super Mario 3D World. While this wasn't the open world game that I wanted, it won me over with the 2D type gameplay in the 3D world. It was strange, but a fun gimmick to play. The levels were some of the best these type of games had to offer, and it was a great game to play. So boys, Super Mario 3D World. Would you buy, rent, or skip? Little Wiiviewer.
No brainer skip. This is a AAA title, and it's one of the best on the Wii.
He said skip, did he
I
not?
said- no,
Did he
I
not
said-
skip?
I
Rewind the tape. Everyone's looking at him like dumbfounded, like, what?
Said no brainer buy.
Did he say skip or did he say buy?
I think he said skip.
I said
But I think he was just ready for the Barbie review.
He's not on my Barbie review. That's all mine.
This is a AAA title, and it's amazing and wonderful, and if you don't have a Wii U, get it and buy this game.
Number 2. Super Mario Galaxy 2. The first one might have set the bar for the series, but this one leapt right over it. It took everything that didn't work in the first one and improved upon it. The levels are great and varied, and I love just about everything this title had to offer. There are a few characters you can interact with. One of them being the mail toad. He will give you letters when they come in. The strangest ones were when the princess would send you a letter. She did this in the original Mario Galaxy as well. 2 things. Bowser's letting her send out mail? And he gets mail service out there? I actually came up with an answer to this. I think the princess pre-mails all these letters. I bet one of her weekly things to do is to mail a few letters to Mario, just in case she gets kidnapped. I think she's pretty much accepted her fate by now. And she figures, why not do a little advanced planning? You know, I bet she also has a little kidnap bag where she keeps her, lipstick, toothbrush, soap, shampoo, and other stuff. It would explain why she always looks so good whenever Mario saves her. It's been a while since I've been kidnapped, so I guess I should get my bag ready. Let's see, I gotta get all my personal stuff, deodorant, sunglasses, toothbrushes, mascara, lipstick. Now, what else could I possibly need? Oh, yeah. Can't forget that. Not after last time. Alright then. What's next? Mail Mario 1-ups. Let's do it. My boyfriend has a first name. It's Mario. His last name is the same as his first name. I know it's weird. And if we ever get married, I think I'll keep my name. Dum bum 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 dum. Alright, that's done. Let's mail some letters. Number 1. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm sure this isn't going to be a huge shock to anyone. This game could be the best game ever made. From the stunning open world, the combat, and just the overall fun of everything in it. It's one of those games that make you keep saying to yourself, I wonder what's over that hill. And when you get there, you find something that makes you smile. You wake up, you were told that it's 100 years later, and you've learned the ability to jump.
No, your special power is your amazing upper body strength.
The hero of upper body strength.
Well, I'm pretty sure that he was bitten by a radioactive spider, and he became Spider-Link. If he had started shooting webs out, I'd be like, this is the greatest game ever! And money just isn't in the grass anymore. You're going to have to sell fruit or mine for gold and ore and sell it.
Personally, never had money problems in this game.
Or
you could just
Okay, Scrooge McDuck!
Or you could just do what I do and just beat up Guardians and sell all of their parts.
You could just get a lot of ore in this game, and ore is basically just rupees.
Okay, braggers! I just want to see Link carrying all these, like, radishes and ores in his pockets, and he's trying to sneak up on this bokoblin. I got 7 swords and 5 shields and 9 bows. How come I can't see this on Link?
Man, I wish I could hold that many swords and bows.
Oh, don't give Nintendo an idea. They'll probably do that in the next one. Like, oh, you don't like breakable objects? Well, you can only carry 2 at a time. Well, that's it. 10 years, and those are the top 10 best games that I ever reviewed. However, it occurs to me that I've done a few top 10 lists. So next up is my top 10 lists that I've ever... I'm just kidding. We're going to do the regular reviews next. And I'm going to start off with something big. As I do a review for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I thank everyone for watching these videos these last 10 years. And I hope you enjoy all the content that is to come.